Hey everybody, today we're going to take a little bit of a break from the species spotlights and the different enclosure setup videos, and we're going to do a little bit more of a quick ranty video, and I'm going to do my best to be not as long-winded as I am used to doing. But so I'm more than likely, if you guys follow me and subscribe here, you guys follow some of the other larger creators like Brian Cusco, Reach at Reptiles, Clint, Brian Barczyk, all those people, Snake Discovery. That means that you've probably heard about everything going on with USARK. So just a quick recap: USARK, that's the United States Association of Reptile Keepers. Essentially, it's the lobbyist group that we have for our reptile community. They've gone to bat for us for our right to be able to keep these animals, like my girl Pi here, at the city level, the county, the state, and even the federal level when they helped repeal the Lacey Act that got put in. They famously did win our rights to be able to have that. The Lacey Act, that's the ones that involved the large constrictors like the retics, anacondas moving across state lines. Again, right now in Congress, that is being deliberated in. That was paper clipped into a huge bill. It was the Competes Act. Now it's another U.S. House bill, and they're contesting that right now. And in fact, some of the jargon that was used in our letterhead that we all sent to our representatives and senators was repeated during their first meeting. So that means that USARK and our combined efforts were heard by Congress, which is amazing. Now, if you guys don't already, you need to go check out the USARK YouTube channel. Reach Out Reptiles, Garrett, he started up that USARK channel to be able to kind of help put USARK's message and help kind of spread information about that a little bit better, a little bit more accessibly than just like reposting on the USARK Facebook group and different creators talking about it and linking them in on Facebook and things like that. So you guys go absolutely check that out. But just a couple days ago, they did a video where Garrett was he had his phone out and he talked to different people like Dave Kaufman and Brian Barczyk, and Brian Cusco did one a little bit before where he talked about, specific stories about him and why USARK is important. And then he called out Clint they're trying to perpetuate that, where they're going to call out different YouTube creators, personalities, and influencers to talk and spread USARK's word. And while I know for a fact that I'm never going to be one of those people called out because I'm not nearly known enough, I feel it is not only my responsibility, but everybody's responsibility to in fact keep these animals, to share and help spread the word about USARK. Because a lot of the stuff, and I haven't heard it a lot recently, but going early on when this first started, a lot of people were like, well, what is this? Is it just another group that just takes our money? Do they actually do anything? Is this like one of those other things? And I'm going to tell you a personal story that, in fact, that USARK, in fact, helped save the hobby here in Colorado. Now, a number of years ago, we have a animal welfare group or association here in Colorado. It's called PACFA. It's the Pet and Animal Care Facilities Act, essentially what it is. It's a group to help keep animals' health and welfare at most, if for large places, either for breeders, for rescues, for pet stores, places like that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because people can take advantage of the system. People take advantage of animals. We've all seen it with dogs, cats, birds, whatever it is. But a number of years ago, they decided to essentially spread it out from other commercial businesses and rescues and dogs, cats, and birds to all of the other aspects of animals, including reptiles, exotic fish, amphibians, and things like that. And because that so much misinformation and unknown and just kind of a lack of caring and of understanding for these amazing, beautiful animals like Pi here, they put very restrictive laws in place that was going to make it so almost every average Joe who had more than a couple animals of the same species, of the same sex, was going to end up having to pay several $100s a year, have biannual inspections, have all these things, which for a large breeder, I mean, I'm small compared to a lot of other people because I use larger bins and I'm replacing a lot of the smaller ones with cages. So in a facility of my size, a lot of people will have almost twice as many animals, but I still have a couple hundred animals here. And at my size and close to, if I really wanted to push it, I could be hitting quite a number of animals reproducing every single year. That I was going to be affected by that. A lot of people were going to be affected by that. If you had one reticulated python and one pair of them and you reproduced them, that could put you over that cap, which would make you a reptile exotic commercial breeder, and that would have required, at the time, I want to say it was like $350 a year. They've since upped it a couple times, but whatever may have you. USARK did come down, different representatives. We all came down. We went up and met at the Agricultural Center, because that's what it is. It's Department of Agriculture in Colorado that oversees PACFA and oversees a lot of that stuff that has to do with animals and fish and wildlife and things like that. We had a conference meeting there. I was there, USARK, and a lot of other keepers in the Colorado hobby were there. A lot of us said our piece, and USARK sat down with their board of representatives and their directors and hashed out much more responsible, acceptable understanding of the amounts of animals that would have been required for these commercial licenses and registrations and fees and yearly things, which was great because that literally could have killed the hobby here in the state, where I do not kid you, literally, if you had 3 crested geckos and they were females, that would essentially, for the original draft of laws and things, would have made you a commercial reptile breeder. And any other that had to do with the amount of animals, had to do with all those eggs and things like that. So USARK did in fact come to Colorado and help save the hobby. That helped me. That's honestly probably why I'm even able to be here today to be able to do this. Because otherwise, well, yes, I have now, since that, because it's been a number of years, I've been able to build up. We were able to purchase this property. I do almost all of the things that is required for a PACFA certification here in Colorado, except for plumbing in the building, but I'm working on that. But I do not reproduce enough animals to meet their set requirements, but I still hold myself to that standard, as well as I think a lot of people do so as well. Unfortunately, a few bad apples spoil the bunch, right? Just like for everything else in our hobby, everything else for our world and our society. But I just wanted to give my piece and share my story about how USARK did in fact help me, help my community, and it makes it so that way I'm able to do this YouTube channel while I'm able to go off and do my educational presentations for private parties, private individuals, as well as now we're starting to do them at the different reptile shows here in Colorado, which is amazing. I love to be able to do that. This is truly what I want to do with my life, is to be able to work with these animals and share my love with all of you and people in person. So this is me. I didn't get called out, but this is what I feel is my responsibility and for everyone else to do so. So please, if you can, go click on that USARK, hit that subscribe, go watch the videos. Garrett keeps them a little bit shorter than I do with a lot of my videos. They're usually under like 5, 6, 7 minutes long. Really cheap, not really cheap, really short, very digestible, and it's really entertaining and more compelling listening to him, because honestly, a lot of the stuff when we sit there and talk about legislation and laws and rules, it's boring to listen to, unfortunately, and a lot of times people can't keep up with it because either the jargon is too different than normal vernacular, or because it sounds boring to them. It's not dynamic enough. Unfortunately, that's kind of how the world is now. But Garrett does an amazing job, as well as all the other different content creators who do a better job than me as well. All will share that, and so that way, I'm sure as you guys all do follow all these other content creators, you'll see a lot of other videos that will be coming out from them in these coming next few days and weeks, as well as please go check out that USARK YouTube channel as well. And again, also, if you can, I feel like it's our duty in the reptile hobby. It's almost like being part of like a club or society where you have dues. If you can go and join USARK, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. It's very inexpensive for a Barnes membership. I actually have 3 separate memberships. I have one, Jay-Z's Reptiles one, and my partner has one as well. So we don't do quite enough for the very expensive ones because we're still part-time. I'm not really getting paid a whole lot for this. I'm doing it because I feel this is my love, this is my life, and I want to be able to continue to do that. And as I've said so many times before, how can anyone care about something if they don't know it? If we can't be able to keep these animals and share it to the next generation, share it to people who don't understand them, still have that fear of these animals, they'll never be able to understand and learn about it and care about it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you stuck with me through that all. I like to think I wasn't too long-winded on that. But again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for following me, for supporting everyone's love of animals, and thank you for supporting USARK. Go check them out, and please stay up to date and being able to keep having everyone be able to have these animals for future generations for all the years to come. Thanks again so much. Hope you're having a great day, and we will check you next time.